Hi guys, I just wanted to put together a quick summary about this food bank orchard. It's now November, so it's the end of the season. This project is pretty well done for this year, and I just wanted to kind of summarize how things went and what we managed to accomplish this year. This was a really cool project. One of my customers purchased a rather large old orchard, and I met with him in March. Actually, we met out there. There was still snow on the ground. It was still cold and wet. And when I saw this place, I asked him. I said, this place is huge. You've got a lot of property here, a lot of trees. What's your goal? What's your expectations? Are you planning on selling the fruit? You're going to do like a farmer's market kind of a thing, or a fruit stand? And he looked at me and he said, no. He said, Ron, what I want to do here is I want to get these trees back up and productive again, and I want to utilize this property so that I can feed as many hungry children as I can. I want to donate all this food to the food bank. I want to help families that are in need. That's my goal for this property. And of course, when he said that, I was on board 100%. I thought that was really just a great thing to do. But we had our work cut out for us. This orchard had been abandoned for 4 or 5 years. Trees really were a mess. Some of the trees were dead. There was a lot of work that needed to get done. And we were under the gun because it was already March. I mean, typically I'm finishing my apple tree pruning in March. We were just getting started now, and there was a lot to do. But we had a great crew come in, and they hustled. And then we got the pruning done. And then we had a very long, cold spring with a lot of rain, and that brought on more concerns. We were concerned about fungal issues like scab, and we were concerned about pollination. When it's cold and wet, the honeybees aren't active, and if they're not active, you don't get pollination. Without pollination, you don't get fruit. So we had a lot of concerns right off the bat. It was a little rough. And we just did what we could to try to counteract some of these environmental conditions. And lo and behold, we actually had a really good crop. The trees ended up being very productive, more so than I really could have even imagined. And so that worked out great. We were really happy about that. On the downside, one of the mistakes that I made, is that none of us realized how much effort it would take to harvest this many apples in this magnitude. I do a lot of apple tree work, but it's all small. It's homeowner orchards where you're dealing with 10, 12, 15 trees, and typically my job is to grow the fruit. I don't usually get involved with harvesting. The homeowners do that. They go out with their kids at harvest time, and they have their friends over, and they pick apples and they make apple pies and whatever. My job is just to grow them. I was naive to how much work it takes to actually harvest this many apples. And so we kind of dropped the ball with that. We did get some groups out there. We started calling around. We got some volunteers to come out. The food bank sent out some volunteers, which was great. With this video, you can see I went out with my family. We picked apples for a day. There were a couple of other families that came out. Friends of the guy that owns the place that brought their families out. They picked some apples. Litchfield High School. I got to give a shout out to Litchfield High School. I called the local high school and I explained to them what was going on, and that all these apples were going to the food bank, and they were awesome. I mean, she was just great. She said, let me see what I can do. I think within 2 days I got an email from her saying, when do you want us? And I think within 7 days they had a school bus full of kids there. They came in and they kicked butt. They went through and they just started picking apples. They picked a ton of apples in a very short period of time. So Litchfield High School, thank you. You guys were great. You really stepped up and helped us out a lot with that. That being said, there was a lot of harvesting that didn't get done because we just underestimated what it would take to harvest that many apples. And then we had a nor'easter come through. 50-mile-an-hour winds, heavy rains, a lot of fruit just got knocked off of the trees. And of course, once that happened, the deer and the bears came in and just trampled it and ate the apples. And so it was kind of bittersweet. I mean, we had a really good year. We produced a lot of apples, and that was awesome. But we kind of dropped the ball with the harvesting. There was a lot of fruit that ended up going to waste. Now, on the good side, we did harvest a lot of apples, and a lot of fruit did make its way to the food bank. I'm guessing so far, well, not so far, in total, we probably ended up donating somewhere between 4,000 and 4,500 pounds of apples, which that's a lot of apples. I mean, it was, you know, just pallets of apples we were loading up with these huge boxes. And so, you know, that was good. I mean, it's a lot of apples, and I'm sure they went to a lot of people that needed them. But it's kind of bittersweet because we could have done more. If I had realized, or if we had realized how much manpower and man hours it takes to actually harvest these apples, we could have put things in place, started earlier, got things done a little more efficient or whatever, and we could have donated more. We won't make that mistake again. You know, this is a part of life. You learn from your mistakes and you move on. So we're already talking about next year. We're talking about things we're going to put in place, how we're going to time it better, how we're going to get more groups of people out there, and things we can do to improve that aspect of it. And we're going to do it again next year. And I'm hoping next year we can double that. I'm really hoping next year we're going to be looking at more like 9,000 or 10,000 pounds that are going to get donated to the food bank. So that's basically where we're at right now. It's now November, so we're pretty well done. We're going to be doing our pruning this winter. I'll probably drag you guys out there and make a video on apple pruning when we're out doing that. And then we're going to start again in spring. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my first video. I've never done this before. So I'm hoping to make more videos, and hopefully I'll get better at doing this down the road with a little more practice. If you like the video, like it. You can subscribe. I'll have more videos coming out. They're all going to be horticulture based. Definitely leaning towards the organic end of things. And I just kind of want to share, you know, some of the things that I've done over the course of the past 35 years of working in horticulture. But anyways, thank you again for watching. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you soon.